Hey, what's up guys? Shane Matos with the Yak Local. Out here in the garage today. Didn't go fishing. Took a week off this week, and I thought I'd do a full review on the Old Town Bigwater Pdl 132. Taken it out about a dozen times already. A few times in the ocean, a few times in the lake. I feel like I have a pretty good grip on the kayak. A few pros and cons, not many cons, but I will share them. But yeah, let's just dive into it. Alright, so it's the Bigwater Pdl 132, like I said. Let's start off at the front. Start off with the hatch. Love the hatch. I don't ever use it on the water, but I will start off with this. Man, I have taken this kayak out, like I said, about 12 times, and each time returning back from a trip, I haven't had a single drip of water inside the hole. That is extremely impressive in my books, but yeah, I'll open it up so you guys can take a look. I just got my battery box, and I got a sponge in there, and then I got my dry bag with an extra prop in there, and I just have my cables coiled up in here, so I don't have tons of cables laying on the ground. But that's it. I kind of explained it in one of my previous videos, but I'm going to go in a little bit more depth on this review as far as, you know, experiences on the water, etc. So let's move on to the drive. So when I first got the drive, it was a little wobbly, and I'll explain it. Let me put this down. So once you lock this drive down, see, I go all the way. It's all locked all the way. Well, when I would pedal, this would wobble. So after doing a little bit of research and, you know, hitting up, see, now it's really tight. Like, I can't even do it. I have to press down on the drive if I want to get this thing unlocked, and now it's not going anywhere. But what I did was I reversed the nut. A lot of people say not to do it, but I did it. And the other thing was, it was loose here, so I tightened it up here. You know, this right here was wobbling, so once I tightened it up here, that seemed to resolve the problem. And then obviously having the Navari kayak spacers helps tremendously, so this doesn't move back and forth. Also the pedals, I love the pedals. I put them on from day one, so I can't say anything about the stocks, but I love the grippiness of this. I haven't had any issues with it. Highly recommended. So anyways, the drive, one thing I always do too, every trip, no matter freshwater or salt, I will always take this off, check for weeds, fishing line, and I'll spray some corrosion inhibitor on it. I will say this, I fished in a couple lakes that were pretty grassy and hydrilla and a lot of weeds, and also the ocean, and I haven't once had any weeds in my prop, or fishing line, so that was a huge plus so far. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. I'll tell you a little bit about the hatch here. Love the hatch. I use it for everything that is personal, and I haven't had any issues with water getting into it, but it just flips open, and in here I'll store my keys, like a granola bar, some extra electronics, and I feel confident that no water is getting in there, so that's a huge plus. And I just attach my pliers, so it's easy access to get to. But yeah, I love this console. I think it's a game changer for easy access. It's super watertight. Love it. Let's move on to these side pockets. So both sides have these pockets. I do utilize them. I actually coil my cable for my fish finder in here when I'm transporting it. But anyways, when it's out, I'll put like extra plastic so I don't have to always reach back. I will put some scents. If I take off a lure and I know I'm going to use it again, I'll toss it in there. It's pretty convenient. I have no complaints with that. And so this deck pad's awesome, very comfortable. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but let me see if I can show you. I love how they designed this. So if you, this here kind of has a hump. It's got a curvature here, and what's nice about it it creates an extremely dry ride. I mean, this kayak is extremely dry ride. I am 235. I stand up when I fish, as you can see here. I don't have water puddling in here ever. My last kayak, my Lightning, I would be swamped in water, but I also never felt comfortable standing in that kayak, and that's not a knock to Lightning. It's just yeah, different kayak, different animal, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is probably the only con that I have on this kayak, is the track system. I do not like that they didn't go all the way. I would have liked that they went all the way. I wish they would have used a different material. As you can see here, you know, I've dug in a little bit right there, but I'm just not a huge fan of this track system. I might upgrade to the one that Yakattack sells with the aluminum track that goes in here. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't even fit this one on this side. I actually had to drill a hole through it to attach. So rudder handle, no complaints with the rudder handle. This knob's a little wonky, but this is just to lock it down. If you're trying to track straight or whatever, you just lock this nut down and it'll keep the rudder where you locked it. I use it once in a while when I'm out in the ocean, but I don't use it too much. Everything, the rudder control seems to be nice and responsive. That's a huge plus, so I love that. Let's move on to the seat. So I'll take this off for a second. But this is the stock seat. I rocked it stock for about 10 trips and I had no issues with comfort, but I just ended up getting one anyways to add a little bit more comfort. I got the Kayak cushion. You know, I've used different ones on Amazon, the cheap $25 ones, but I'll say this, invest the money, 50, 60 bucks, and get yourself a Kayak cushion. It is a game changer, I promise you. So that's a seat. And then it has straps here in the rear that you haven't actually clipped from transportation, but yeah, all you do is they go over this and they click in from here, and you can tighten it down just like that, and it'll keep it from moving. So that's cool. And then you have your tabs here. You just pull both sides up and it slides up and down. Love that. I love that I can adjust it easy on the water without having to reach back or do anything crazy. Okay, moving on down this way. It's got the paddle clip. I love it. I use it all the time. Let me show you guys real quick. The paddle, it's super easy. Just clicks right in and it just locks right into place like that. So first I wasn't really locking it, but I realized, you know, a current or a wave comes and crashes, it could come off. Even though this paddle floats, always a good idea to latch it, even though I don't sometimes. Just saying. All right, moving down this way to the back. I got my crate in here right now. I have a video on it if you guys want to check it out. D.I.Y. rigid crate that I did. I also just added these recently to attach. Just you can kind of do it one-handed. When I'm on the seat, it's pretty simple, but this just wraps around the rod, clicks into place, and then if you want to open it, you just push down on the tab and release. It's not easy to do holding the camera, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, yes, rear well is not very big. It's long, but it is not wide. You can see here I had to go with a longer crate. Even with the rod holders on the side, I had to elevate it with PVC down there, as you can see. But I like the system. I got all of them here. Got the extra stuff over there. But yeah, it's working so far. I don't have too many complaints about it. Still getting used to using it. But I got 6, 7, 8 rod holders. I usually take 6 minimum when I go out. I'm extra like that. But here's the rear rudder. I like the rudder. Sometimes I forget to take this out, but luckily my paddle has this little hook, and I'll just reach back and unhook it. And yeah, the handle is on the other side. I'll go that way because I am pinned in the corner of my garage right now. Super bright outside, so I thought I'd get a little bit of better video quality if I come in here. Yeah, let's go here. This is the handle, and that controls it going up and down. I'm not gonna put it all the way up or I'm gonna smack my wall. So I'll put this back. The reason why I went sideways is because I didn't have my hand on the rudder control, which is right there. If I had my hand on the rudder control and it was straight, or I locked it down and did this, it would go straight back, straight up when I did it. In the back over here, it has a forward facing rod holder. Although I don't use it, I don't know why, I just have gotten so used to a ram mount tube. I put it right here. You've probably seen it in my other video. I'll do it again anyways, just because some people, you know, I saw this on the YouTube video, so, and I stole it from somebody and I like this system now, so why not share it. But yeah, I usually do that, and then I'll put my rod butt right in there, and it's easier for me to handle my line from right over there. But that's that. Coming to the handle, I changed it to the Navarre on both sides. I have the Navarre kayak handles, the replacement handles, so you can put a mount. I put my fish finder mount here. I love the fish finder mount here. It is super accessible, easy to work on, and with my right hand, I just like it a lot more. And the cool thing is, when I need to paddle or if it's in the way, I can just lay it flat, and well, with the ram mount anyways, you can, not with like the YakStick ones, because those are locked into place. But that's why I like the ram mount, because I can just go like that and move it wherever I need it. But that's that. And then this one has rod holder too, so I can actually, if I wanted to, I just realized, sorry, this isn't a forward facing, this is a rear facing. My bad, way wrong. This is the forward facing, and this is where you can kind of put your rod and handle your fish from there. But since I have my fish finder here, it's not ideal for me to put my rod butt here. Anyways, this is my port for my Railblaza camera mount for my front facing that I just added. But yeah, and then moving up here is just, they got these plates that you can use. I put some eyelets here, so when I put my keel bag on the front, I can attach a wire and tie it around, and it's all latched. The front molded in handle, I love molded in handles. I have zero complaints with it, and I'll show you in the rear also. It has molded in handles. Can't really see, it's really dark, but they're molded in handles right there. The bottom, let's see here. Yeah, the bottom has a protector, which I love because I drag my kayak. It hasn't worn down too much. Talk a little bit about the hole shape. As you can see, if the light isn't blinding, it's got a very, very sharp V at the nose. Then it starts to flatten out towards the middle. But anyways, what that does is it creates, I get no water over the bow. I was in Redondo, as you can see here, and it was pretty choppy, and I had no water coming over the bow of my kayak, so that was awesome. But you can also see how it has these channels that comes in here. If water does comes down in here and drops right down there, and it is out of the kayak. So like I said, I haven't had any water in the hole. I did put a keel guard right when I bought the kayak, and I'll say this, I think the keel guard is the way to go, guys. I mean, I've put this on boat ramps, I've used it a lot of times, and this is a thin Kydex, and it hasn't even worn out, not even close to wearing out. So I think it's 100% worth it. And then the hole in the rear, then it sharpens in the rear as well. Let me see if I can turn this. Yeah, I can turn it. You can kind of see the shape of the hole there from the rear. There you go. The pros of the kayak, it is extremely stable. A lot of people have said in previous reviews and before I was even looking at kayaks, I kind of was veered towards the Sportsman 120 PDL because it was more stable, and I haven't got a chance to try that one, but I will say I haven't felt unstable on my big water PDL 132 at all. And that one trip in Redondo, I felt I wasn't feeling good that day. The conditions weren't ideal, but the big water performed flawlessly. So huge pro is also the speed. That thing is fast. I mean, it is a quick kayak, and it is a 13'2" kayak. So the R&D behind it, you can see is thorough. It glides through the water, it cuts through the waves, and swells tremendously. So I'm extremely impressed by that. The other pro is the dryness of the ride. It's a super dry ride, like very dry. The only time it gets wet is when I pop the drive up. Like I said, the design of the deck, it just drains out so quickly. So I love that. I really do. Let's see, the other pro. It's honestly not difficult to transport. My Lightning Strike kayak was, I think, 87 pounds, and this one's 97, I believe, so 10 more pounds. It feels like I'm transporting the same kayak. It's not that heavy. Mind you, I do transport it without the drive in it. So I'll transport it where I need it, and then I'll go and grab my drive, and then I'll bring it, because it drives like 20 pounds on its own. So yeah. What else? Yeah, the other pro is the warranty. It's got a 5-year warranty on the drive, and it's got a lifetime warranty on the hull. So I think that is a great warranty. So that's a nice peace of mind that I have. I also insured my kayak. I recommend everyone to insure their kayak. It's a big investment. Your rods, your tackle, the kayak itself. If anything were to happen, you get hit on the freeway, or you tipped over, lost all your gear, all your electronics, you know, depending on your insurance coverage, that stuff might be covered. So it's worth it. I just finished mine, and I'm paid like $7 a month, 200 something a year. Well worth it. But yeah, let's see, what is another pro I have? Oh, the comfort. Super comfortable. Like I said, the seat's comfortable. I did add the kayak cushion, but it's a very comfortable ride. I love the angle I'm in. I love the high seat position, and that doesn't, I don't think that makes a difference in the stability. Some people say it will, but I feel extremely stable on that kayak. Every kayak has its tipping point. Every kayak behaves differently. So, you know, I've tested it. I haven't flipped it yet, but I also haven't tested its tipping point. I don't need to do that. I'll keep my center of gravity all the time. I use a landing net to catch fish if they're big. If I'm using, you know, heavy fluoro and it's a small fish, I'll just bring it on the kayak without a net. But oh, other pro is the PDL. Man, that PDL feels bulletproof. I mean, I've only taken it out about a dozen times, like I said, but it feels really strong. It's gotten better and better. After like the 4th trip, it was like buttery smooth. I love that. At first it was a little clicky, little geary feeling, but it wasn't terrible. Let's see what else. It's easy to maintain, it's easy to clean. I just always run fresh water through the prop when I'm done after a trip, whether it be fresh or salt, like I said. And the spare parts for it are super cheap. I mean, I got 2 extra props, and they were like $5. So, and I have that. I have the extra pins. You know, if I broke a prop or a pin on the water, I probably can replace it and be back up and running in like 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. So to me, that's huge. So very excited about that. And then let's go with some cons. The cons for me is the tracks. I don't like the track system. Straight up, I just don't. I don't think it was a well thought out design. I wish it was a track all the way along. I wish it was not. I wish it was maybe raised, but with aluminum. Yeah, it's not an ideal track system for me, anyways. And not all track mounted adapters will work. So that kind of sucks. You kind of have to mod it. That's literally the only con I have about this kayak. it's a good con, you know, because that's customizable. YakAttack sells an option to fix it, so I might go that route, but it's like 80 bucks. So, you know, $80 more tackle I can buy, even though I don't need it. I got way too much crap. But yeah, that's it. I'm excited for next week. I will be going on a overnight rockfish ling trip out of Ventura on the Endeavor. 24 anglers are going to be on it. Super pumped. So it won't be a kayak video that week, but it will be a fish catching video, hopefully. And hopefully we catch some lings. I still haven't caught a ling. I really want to catch a big ling cod and some big reds, and maybe even some white sea bass. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so stay tuned. I appreciate you guys watching, and feel free to comment if you guys have any questions on the Old Town Bigwater Pdl. I love answering questions, so please feel free to do so. Thank you guys. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.